weeks, from one Shabbat to the next, it feels like it flies by. And other times it feels like it's 6 years between one Shabbat and the next. I feel like this week may be one of those 6 years for some of us. And some weeks we can take one deep cleansing breath and you can get rid of everything that's happened this week and everything that might be going on. And sometimes it takes certainly more than one breath. And I think for many of us this week might take 6 or 7, maybe 10 breaths. So how many ever breaths you need to get rid of whatever world stress, whatever personal stress, whatever stress is weighing you down as you walk into the sanctuary, whatever is not allowing you to feel calm and rest and reflection. Just take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, try and let it all go. And I'll give you some time if you need a couple of more breaths. They feel good. And then as you breathe in and out, try and breathe in that calm, that relaxation, that rest that comes with Shabbat. Knowing that even if we take this pause, what's stressing us out may still be there, but we deserve the pause. We deserve the time. We deserve the break. And one of the amazing things about Shabbat is that it's an opportunity to bring us all together. We get to be together. We get to come together as community. And so let's sing about how happy we are that that is so, as our opening song is Hine Ma Tov, and it can be found on, I'm going to guess, page 10. I feel like that sounds right. Yes.
Tohu Manaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Ma Tohu Manaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Ma Tohu Manaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Tovu Manaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Ma Tovu Manaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Ma Tovu Manaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Tovu Manaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Ma Tovu Manaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
One of my favorite things that I love to teach others is why we light at least 2 candles on Shabbat. Does anybody know? Say it louder, Susan, because I think you're right. Remember? Yes. So Shamor and Zachor. So we are commanded twice in the Torah to keep Shabbat. So there's the 10 commandments that we get in the book of Exodus. And then the whole book of Deuteronomy, which literally means a retelling, is a second telling, is a retelling of our wandering through the desert. And so we get reminded that we receive the 10 commandments. And the first time we are commanded, it's Zachor et Yom HaShabbat, that you should remember the Sabbath day. So we should acknowledge that it is Shabbat and that it is different. And the second time, it's Shamor. Do something special. Set Shabbat aside from all of the other days. So we light at least 2 candles on Shabbat to remind us that we are supposed to remember that it is Shabbat. We are supposed to set it aside, and we are supposed to do something to make it different from all the other days of the week. And there are different reasons we are given for celebrating Shabbat. In one of the commandments, it is to remember that there were 7 days of creation, and on the seventh day, God rested. So there were 6 days of creation. On the seventh day, God rested, so we rest. And the other is to remind us that God freed us from being slaves in Egypt, because only truly free people have time that is their own. And as we go through lighting the candles and saying the Kiddush, if you look at the English translation of the Kiddush, it will refer to those 2 reasons that we are commanded to celebrate Shabbat, and we will light 2 candles for the 2 ways that we honor Shabbat. And I can think of nobody who honors this place as well or more than the Longs, so it is my honor to invite them up to recite the blessings for us, Bruce and Susan Long. Come on up. If you would like to light candles on your own, they are, of course, on both sides of the bima, and you may join in the blessings.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. We're on. No. The heaven and earth were finished, in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim. V'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
We continue with our opening reading on page 8. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. We rise as able on page 28 for Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed.
Our next reading is not found in your prayer book. As the sun sinks, the colors of the day turn. We offer a blessing for the twilight. For twilight is neither day nor night, but in between. We are all twilight people. We are many identities and loves, many genders and none. We are in between roles, at the intersection of histories, or between place and place. We are crisscross paths of memory and destination, streaks of light swirled together. We are neither day nor night. We are both, neither, or all. May the sacred in-between of this evening suspend our certainties, soften our judgments, and widen our vision. May this in-between light illuminate our way to the God who transcends all categories and definitions. May the in-between people who have come to pray be lifted up into this twilight. We cannot always define. We can always say a blessing. Blessed are you, God of all, who brings on the twilight. We continue on page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha Vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beineinecha uchtavtam Al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai veyitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Lihiyot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Page 39. We read together. Standing on the parted shores of history, We still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Ya lie lie la lie lie la la lie ya lie lie la lie la 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 lie ya lie la lie 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 la la lie ya lie 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 ya la lie 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 Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh Nora tehilot Hosef eleh Nora tehilot Hosef eleh Malechutecha ra'u v'necha Bokei hayam lifnei Moshe Ze'elianu ve'amru Ze'elianu ve'amru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh Nora tehilot Hosef eleh Nora tehilot Hosef eleh
As we turn to page 42 for Hashkivenu, and we think about this prayer of protection, we think about all the things we need to truly feel safe. Most of us are blessed to have a roof over our heads, not to have to worry about where our next meal is coming from. And if you think about like Maslow's hierarchy, most of us have that bottom pretty well intact to have our needs met. But then we start to think about the other things we need to feel safe. Do we feel loved? Do we feel protected? Do we feel taken care of? When we put our head on the pillow, is it filled with so many intrusive thoughts that it is hard to calm down? This prayer is really a prayer about being able to let go of whatever it is that is making us feel unsafe, even if it is just for the 8, 7, 6, depending on how many you get, hours that you close your eyes and try and rest for an evening. May we feel safe enough to get enough rest to feel renewed and refreshed tomorrow. So let us all pray for that. Let us all pray that we get a respite each night, that we have that safety in our lives as we sing Hashkivenu together.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom ושומרנו לחיים, לחיים, לחיים.
As the Jews wandered through the desert, they were given a double portion of manna as the Shabbat came in so that they wouldn't have to work on the Sabbath. So on Friday, they were given this double portion so they wouldn't have to collect on Shabbat. It's why many families choose to have 2 loaves of challah each Shabbat as a reminder of the double portion that we were given as we wandered through the desert. And so on Shabbat, we not only have one evening prayer, but we have like a double portion of an evening prayer. We have Hashkivenu, and then we have Vishamru, which reminds us that in addition to this hope that we feel safe each night, we are reminded that each one of us has an opportunity to have our own unique and special relationship with God. And one of the signs of that relationship with God is the Shabbat each week. This opportunity to rest and relax and reflect. And so we will sing Vishamru on page 44.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם.
A couple weeks ago when Dan Nichols was here, he did a workshop with our faculty at my house, and the workshop was called Oh My God. And he used music to get the faculty to talk about how they felt about God. And one of the quotes that came up during this workshop is that we should all pray as if everything depends on God, but act as if everything depends on us. So it is something to think about as we rise for the tefillah, this prayer about prayer, as we ask God to open up our lips so that we can declare God's glory and this relationship that we have with God. We will begin on page 46 and go straight through to page 52.
Adonai sefaitai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rav lehoshia. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevurot, Umito melach, Melech memit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol, Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
You may be seated. Each week, my sister posts on Facebook a message for Shabbat, and then there's always at the end a hashtag Shabbat Shalom. Today's message, and I did ask her permission to share, it's on Facebook, was when nothing seems to be working, it's okay to stop working and rest. We need to remember that sometimes the world or our lives can become really overwhelming, but it's still okay to take this time of Shabbat to rest, to reflect, and to renew ourselves. And sometimes that may make the work that we return to just a bit easier to continue. So this is often where we offer a prayer of gratitude or a prayer for Shabbat. And I felt like this worked as both. We are grateful that even when things might not be working, when life feels hard, we get this time to rest and relax. And we know that Shabbat comes and we are grateful for it. And we hope that we can find it even when life is hard. Something else we would be very grateful to find a little more of in our world is peace. And so we offer our prayer for peace, Shalom Rav, on page 60.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, Tasim le'olam. Ki atah hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki atah hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, Tasim le'olam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת Tasim le'olam, Tasim le'olam.
The great Rabbi Nachman of Bratislav teaches that we all have the ability to reach in three directions: into oneself, up to God, and out to others. And the true miracle of living is if you reach in any one direction, you reach in all three, which is what we do with our Misha Berach prayer. We reach into ourselves for the strength and healing we have inside. We reach up to God with the names of those we love and care about. And then we reach out to all those who are in need as we offer our Misha Berach prayer. If there is anybody for whom you would like to say a Misha Berach this evening, you may say their name aloud as my hand passes over the congregation. For all the names we said aloud, for all those we hold in our hearts, we offer Misha Berach. Our Misha Berach this evening is by Lisa Levine and is not found in our prayer book.
Misha Berach Avoteinu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Misha Berach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Misha Berach Avoteinu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Misha Berach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with a vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Misha Berach Avoteinu, Misha Berach Imotenu, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear
We take a moment for personal silent prayer.
Ose shalom bimromav, huya aste shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, huya aste shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, huya ase shalom aleinu. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ose shalom bimromav, huya ase shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, huya ase shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, huya ase shalom aleinu. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
A grandfather went walking with his grandchild, and they were walking for a bit outside, and all of a sudden the grandchild looked up and said to their grandfather, "Why is the sun yellow?" Grandfather said, "I don't know, but that is an excellent question." They continued walking, and a few minutes later, the grandchild said, "Grandpa, why is the sky blue?" "I don't know," said the grandfather, "but that is an amazing question." A few more minutes pass. The grandchild looks at their grandfather. "Why is the grass green?" "I don't know, but great question." Now, the grandchild started to sense that maybe they were starting to agitate their grandfather because they're asking all of these questions and he doesn't have any answers. And so they apologized and said, "I'm really sorry. I'm asking you all these questions and you have no answers." To which the grandfather goes, "Don't worry. Keep asking. If you don't ask, you will never learn." Even when answers are hard to find, we must keep asking. The great Rabbi Hillel taught, "One who is bashful will never learn." If we are afraid to ask questions, we will never grow. When we question, we grow, and we also prompt growth in those we question. We just finished Passover. One could argue a holiday very focused on questions. My family often jokes that the 4 questions really aren't 4 questions, but one question with 4 different answers, which, if you're going to find something Jewish, it's right there. 1 question, 4 answers. If you think about it, we say, why is this night different from all other nights? And then we lay out 4 examples, right? On all other nights, we can eat bread and matzah, but on this night, only matzah. On all other nights, any vegetables we want. On this night, maror. On all other nights, we don't even have to dip once. On this night, at least 2 times. We dip twice. On all other nights, we can sit any way we'd like. On this night, we need to make sure we recline. 1 big question, 4 answers. Teaches us the importance that often a question has more than 1 correct answer. It felt like this particular Passover, the question, however, wasn't, why is this night different than all other nights? But why is this year different from all other years? This year felt very different than any Passover I've celebrated before. And for those of us leading Seders, participating in Seders, it made us think about every element of the Seder in a very different way. As my inbox, my Facebook feed, my heart and my mind have been filled with news from college campuses across the country, one passage from the Seder that has really been on my mind is the 4 children and how they ask questions. We all know we begin with the wise child, who seems to know every detail, or at least has the capacity to understand every detail of the Seder. In the world we live in today, this wise child is the one who reads every article, who can take in every bit of information, who goes to multiple sources, and yet still has questions and not a whole lot of answers. And then there's the wicked child, who I've argued for years gets a bad rap. I don't really think they're so wicked. They get blamed for saying, "What does this mean to you?" And the thought is they're excluding themselves. But what if it isn't that they're excluding themselves, but they just can't figure out their place, and they're not sure where they fit in? And so by asking, "What does it mean to you?" they're trying to figure out what it does mean to them and how they fit in. So perhaps rather than the wicked child, they're the bewildered child. And there are definitely those out there saying, "What does this all mean to you? How can I figure out what it all means to me?" And then there is the simple child, again, a terrible name. But that is the child that asks a very simple question: what is all of this? And perhaps that is those of us who are so overwhelmed by the influx of information that we can't form a question other than, what is all of this? How can I understand it? And the one who does not know how to ask. the one who may not understand the significance of this situation. Whether it is some of our teenagers who don't really understand the impact, whether it is those who know us but aren't necessarily directly impacted by what is happening and may not get why this matters so much to us. And for them, we don't wait for a question, we start a conversation. And just as I was ready to start the Seder, I had everything prepared, so I didn't add it in. I found a beautiful reading by a colleague, Rabbi Aaron Brusso, who wrote about a fifth child. I will be thinking this year about the fifth child, the one who tries to hold complexity, the one who does not want to let go of their heritage and loyalties, but also wants to understand and sympathize with the pain of others, even the pain caused to others by those whom she feels loyalty. The child who opens her mouth and nothing comes out because the cry of love for her people's suffering is stuck, wedged in her throat against the cry of empathy for the suffering of others. She is the daughter of Pharaoh, caring for the Israelite baby, and Abraham watching Hagar disappear with her son into the wilderness. She holds this all in her heart as she walks past the cries from the different camps of the encampments for freedom and justice. She wants to love her neighbor and the stranger, but neither are interested in loving her. She has no camp amongst the encampments. She went to university so she could make space in her mind between the certainties and grow intellectually, to build rooms in her heart to grow emotionally. Instead, she found camps on campus, the wise, the wicked, the simple, the one who does not know how to ask, and the one in her dorm room, holding nuance for which there is no reward and no camp. So often, we stop asking questions. We stop listening to each other. We stop seeking nuance. But we must keep asking questions, even when we are bewildered or overwhelmed or naive or bashful. We must keep asking questions even when the answers are difficult to find. And we must remember that there are questions that have multiple right answers. And above all, we must keep listening with an open heart and an open mind. It is the only way for us to keep our humanity and to find the humanity in others. Shabbat Shalom.
It's easy to say I will one day, hard to make it happen that way. It's easy to say it's you, not me, hard to take responsibility. It's easy to say I'll forgive and forget, hard to let go of my regret. It's easy to say I heard what you said, hard to quiet my troubled head. במקום שאין אנשים השתדל להיות איש, במקום שאין אנשים השתדל להיות איש. It's easy to say I'm here for you. Hard to know which words are true. It's easy to say I won't give up. Hard to handle days that don't live up. It's easy to say it's gonna be okay. Hard to find a place on these waves. It's easy to say I'm not afraid. Hard to admit all the mistakes I made. במקום שאין אנשים השתדל להיות איש. במקום שאין אנשים השתדל להיות. This is the place where I begin. This is the place I lose to win. This is the place I find myself. I am that place במקום שאין אנשים השתדל להיות איש. במקום שאין אנשים השתדל להיות. השתדל להיות איש.
Thank you. That was beautiful. The Hebrew words that Annika was singing are the famous words from Hillel: in a place where no one is human, strive to be human. We continue as we turn to Aleinu on page 283. Please rise. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heaven and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. Our pre-Kaddish reading is not found in your prayer book. We gather today to remember, in the rapid pace of listed letters and names, the names of those who have died in years past. They stand in line, called forward, split-second images known only by their name, read by a stranger. I want to know them. The first is someone's bubby, bouncing babies on her knee, whose hugs smelled like chicken soup, Shabbat, and butterscotch candies. The second, a father, a son, a grandfather, who sold twists of fabric to fancy ladies during the Depression. His beard tickled and his eyes twinkled blue with golden specks. The third was a teacher, a rabbi, a friend, whose life was shaped by Torah and whose deeds shaped the lives of so many others. The fourth was a mother who made her son's Purim costume from tinsel, cardboard, and love. The fifth was his wife, the man who always sat in the third row, tapping wrinkled fingers to the beat of a nigun, who prayed softly, whispering words of love to his God, always smiling when a baby giggled during silent meditation, or a memory of her perfumed touch drifted in the sunbeams on the carved wood of the ark. He came that evening to hear her name, to savor its sound, wanting the moment to last just 1 second more. Each name on this list is someone's memory. We honor them with pace and presence, letting the syllables roll from our tongues with the respect and tenderness in which they are held by the man in the third row. This Shabbat, we remember in the period of Shiva, the first 7 days of mourning, Seth Harris. And in Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning, Ellen Hirsch Smith. And we commemorate the Yortzeit, the yearly anniversary of death of Harry Cohn, Viola S. Deutsch, Jean Newman Friedman, Hilda Frauenthal Gears, Samuel Glassman, Adolf E. Goldhammer, Saul S. Goldstein, Dorothy S. Goldston, Philip D. Harris, Cleone Loeb Kahn, Jeanette K., Lois Lazarus, Betty Solomon Loveman, Ursula Malecki, Leonard Messer, Sally Lou Fox Moritz, Sadi C. Offenberg Fried, Bailey I. Ozer, Daniel D. Passoff, Gussie S. Rose, Dolores Rubin, Rolinda Schneiderman, Alex L. Siegel, Bertha H. Skull, Adeline Loeb Strauss. We say of them all, Zichronam Livracha, may each of their memories be a blessing, as we rise for the Kaddish on page 294 and take into our hearts and prayers all those you have loved and lost as well. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivorach leolam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasa. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Zamiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Seh shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all who are bereaved, as we say. Amen. You may be seated as I call forward a member of our board and my partner in crime in cleaning out our kitchen this past Sunday at Mitzvah Day, Ellen Weber, with some words of greeting and announcement.
Thank you, Rabbi. So thank you, Rabbi Shauna and Annika Baelish, for leading tonight's service. Mazel tov in absentia to Rabbi Van for receiving her Doctor of Divinity for 25 years of service to the rabbinate. Mazel tov to Bruce and Susan Long for receiving the honor of lighting the Shabbat candles and reciting the Kiddush. And thank you, Tracy Messer and Karen Schneiderman, again in absentia, for sponsoring tonight's Beam of Flowers and Oneg in memory of their parents, Leonard Messer and Rolinda Schneiderman. And as always, thank you to our dedicated STKA staff and leadership. Mitzvah Day last Sunday was a huge success. Thank you to all who volunteered, and I wanted to get around and be sociable. However, as Rabbi indicated, the opportunity to clean the kitchen, I couldn't resist. And that's kind of where I spent the whole time. Very satisfying, very important. You know, if you complain about something, you should do something if you have the opportunity. So there I was. But it was a great success, and if you didn't get a chance to volunteer this year, look for it next year. The celebration of learning is Friday, May 10th, next Friday. Celebrate the wondrous year of learning at our tent, and we will also be honoring our Modim, those who increased their Open Doors gift by 5% this year. Shabbat services will be followed by the ice cream truck. Rise and Shine for preschool-aged children and their family will be held Saturday, May 18th from 10:30 to 11:30 at the Orange Library. There will be Shabbat songs, activities, and fun. Please email Rabbi Shauna to RSVP. And let's see, the next Kol Nashim Book Club will be Monday, May the 20th. The book discussion will be on the book called President Garfield, From Radical to Unifier. It's a big book. It's very interesting and full of a lot of Ohio history as well. Please call or email the office to RSVP. Shabbat Shalom.
Our closing song is Ki Eshmerah Shabbat and can be found on page 330.
Eshmerah Shabbat El Yishmereini Ki Eshmerah Shabbat El Yishmereini Oti Leomead Beino Uveini Oti Leomead Beino Uveini Ki Eshmerah Shabbat El Yishmereini Ki Eshmerah Shabbat El Yishmereini.
Please rise as able for the closing benediction.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's face always shine in your face, guiding and sustaining you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom v'yasem lecha shalom.
And may God always be with you and bless you with peace. Peace in your hearts, peace in your homes, and peace in our world. As we say together, Amen. Shabbat Shalom.